Hello, my name is Gracie. I love to read and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing something slightly different. This is going to be more of a spontaneous vlog and it will probably be quite short, but I was essentially supposed to work today and now I'm not working today, and I have collected a bunch of things that I want to do and I thought that I would take you with me. So I thought that I would take you through this massive pile of things that I would like to get around to today, and I guess this video is a little bit more of a get to know me and get to know my hobbies as well, because I just love physical media, anything to do with physical media, and so that is what we're doing today. So firstly, I'm going to take you through the books that I'm currently in the middle of, all very different vibes, but because I'm quite busy the next couple of weeks, I am just going to be trying to get through these three by the end of August. I also want to read What's Shipped Down, but that I'll get to that when I come to it. Okay, so the first book that I want to show you is Lobster by Holly McNeish. This is a book of poetry and I absolutely love it. I try to dip in and out of this as many mornings as I can. It does actually not have as many poems as I thought it would. It is quite prose heavy despite being a poetry book, so it's taken me quite a while to get through, but I read quite a big chunk this morning and probably won't be reading any more of this today. The two other books I have on the go are firstly Our Bodies Their Battlefield. This is a book that I've had for literally years and I thought that it was non-fiction, and it is non-fiction, but it's about a war journalist going around to different countries and to different women, and basically this entire book is speaking about how war affects women, and it speaks a lot about war crimes, it speaks a lot about rape. It's a very heavy read, but the fact that these women's stories are being told is so important. So I have been reading this. I am not reading it in the mornings just because, like I said, it's very heavy, and I am very lucky to have the privilege to be able to consume this when I want to, and I have only read about 46 pages so far, but this is devastating. It's an incredibly sad read, but I also think it's really necessary. It does speak about how all the way back when Herodotus was writing, so in the Greek times, how women were treated as sex slaves during war and the consequences of what war meant for women. But this author is essentially exploring modern day war and how this is still happening, but it is not talked about literally at all. So very important read. The other book that I'm reading is All of You, Every Single One. This is set in the early 1900s and it's about a woman who runs away from her husband with another woman, and it's essentially about their lives and then the lives of one of their friends, and we've just had a new character introduced, and it's about how she one day had kind of something like a stroke and then has lost the ability to speak. So we are focusing on 4 different characters. They're all queer characters. It's written very interestingly, but I am enjoying it so far. I think this is a really good book. Other books that I'm reading, but I also have these that I want to get to today and some other things too. So this notebook here is my writing notebook. I have a writing project on the go. I absolutely love writing. I love it so much. I'd love to write a book one day, but this is extremely early stages and I have no idea what I'm doing. So this is kind of just thought dumps and ideas. And I have one idea that I really want to stick with, but I've not had that much time to develop it. So this is what I will hopefully do today. Then I have my journal, which I haven't journaled in quite a long time. The last time I journaled was the 6th of July. No, I tell a lie, the 21st of July. Okay, so that's not awful. That's like maybe 2-3 weeks ago. Oh my god, it's almost a month ago. And then I have this notebook, which is kind of where I put all of my bookish thoughts and things and stuff. So I've got, for example, a lot of thoughts on Jane Austen. That's all on Mansfield Park. And then I have Frankenstein and my thoughts on the film of Frankenstein, which I loved. And then I have also my thoughts on George Eliot, who I adore. I love George Eliot so much. And then a little review for Sunburn. And then this is actually my dissertation idea. So this is kind of just all bookish thoughts. So I don't know what I'd write in here, but I might do that as well today. Other things that I would like to do is I'm a massive scrapbooker. I love scrapbooking and I have a lot of photos that are not in my scrapbook, so I might put on a film and do some scrapbooking, but I think that's it. So I am ambitious today, but I think that we can do it. I think that we can at least dip into all of this. So let's go. into my garden. I actually come outside most mornings, but I never usually film it because it's really loud out here. But I'm hoping that the microphone helps. But I haven't really used this microphone much because I actually don't like the way that it makes my voice sound. But hopefully you can hear me. So I have just been sat outside for about an hour reading, and I've been reading Lobster by Holly McNeish, and this is actually a book that I have been reading the entire summer, really, really slowly, but it's a book of poetry and it's very chatty, it's very casual, and I think it's the perfect kind of book to dip in and out of every morning. So I definitely want to read it more mornings, and I did get into kind of a routine with reading it every morning, but I've absolutely fallen out of that routine. So I read more of a chunk of it this morning. I think I read about 40 or 50 pages, and it's really good. I really like it. The section that I just finished reading was about language and the words vulva and vagina. And why we can't say them, why people find it really hard to say those words, and also it was speaking about how important it is to teach our children the correct words for our anatomy. If a kid asked what their arm was, we'd never say to them, oh, I'll tell you when you're 11. Like, you don't need to know what your arm is yet. Like, it was kind of talking about how ridiculous it is that we don't use the real words for things, especially because it's proven that it does protect children to know the real terms for things. So that was a very interesting part of the book. It was a lot about different language, and I think that Holly McNeish is really funny. I definitely love her humor, but then also she is very political, and I love that too. And actually yesterday morning I read my favorite poem in the collection so far, which was Strike, and it was essentially about how England as a country will literally blame everyone apart from themselves for their mistakes. And it was essentially about how England blames the poor, blames immigrants, blames the doctors and nurses and train drivers who are striking, rather than actually taking accountability for the many issues that the English government has. So the first line of the poem is, "A scented candle will not calm you if you can't afford to eat." And then the author kind of says how important it is that we are political and that we engage in the political climate of the world. And she says that, "Don't believe that you are not a part of this. Your daily life is forged by endless choices that other people made." And it was just a very politically aware poem, and it was definitely my favorite so far in the collection, because if you don't know, I'm quite a political person and I am not as educated as I want to be, and I am aiming this summer actually to get more educated on the politics that I should definitely be more aware of, but I am very opinionated when it comes to politics. So I think political poems like this are very important, especially ones that highlight how problematic and disgusting the English government can be. I do wish that this collection had a little bit more poetry in it. There is a lot of just chit chat, there's a lot of kind of prose with bits of poetry within it. And I do wish there was a little bit more poetry, but either way, I'm still having a great time. I still love it. I have no idea what the date is. So I've actually always journaled. This is such a good watermelon. It's so sweet. I recently found this massive book that was like an illustrated journal from when I was 6 to like 8 or 9. But I've properly journaled since I was about 9, which I just love so much because now I can kind of read back on my thoughts from when I was 9. And I took a couple of breaks, but I've got a lot of writing from my childhood and then from when I was a teenager, and I'm in a period of my life now where this is the most that I've ever journaled, like proper journaling, and I just love it so much. I love looking back on things. I'm a really nostalgic person, so having a journal is really great. But this is I've done it kind of like sporadically through my life, so I don't have loads of journals. I'm gonna say that this is my 6th full journal, but I love it. I love journaling so much. I think I'm gonna have some apple crumble, take my scrapbook downstairs. Amazing plan. Okay, I have read about 40 pages of this today, and this is not what I thought it was gonna be like at all. And I feel like every single book that I read at the moment is just not what I expect it to be. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing. I thought that it was going to be a story about two women who fall in love in the early 1900s, and that is what causes this woman to leave her husband. But that's not what it is. It feels so rushed. There are certain things that are starting to make sense now that I didn't understand in the beginning, but it skipped forward in time so much. Like, you hear about the backstory of them falling in love in probably about a chapter, or maybe even like 3 pages, but you don't even really see them in love. It's kind of just Julia doesn't want to be with her husband, so Eve is the next best thing. So I don't know, I'm not convinced by the love story simply because their background was told so quickly, and then the next part of the book was just them living in Vienna, just trying to make a living. But then literally that was like 30 pages, and then it's the next part and it's been a year and they've been in Vienna a year and they've made friends and they're having a party. And it just felt so rushed. Like, I don't feel like we got the chance to get to know the characters at all. And so I still don't really know who they are, and I just don't really understand how they love each other. I don't see the connection there, which is so sad because I want to see a connection. I want to see some happy queer women, and I'm just not. I'm not, and I'm disappointed, and that makes me sad. And then we're focusing on other characters now. So Julia and Eve have kind of, after about 50 pages, become side characters. So we're basically following a completely different story. And Ada is one of the nicest characters. I really, really like Ada, but she goes through so much. One of the characters, Emil. Oh, horrible. Such a horrible man. Every time Emil is on the page, I want to throw up or punch him. So there's a lot of crappy characters. And so Emil, basically. Then there's a lot of morally grey kind of characters because they're not perfect. They have their faults, they have their issues. And I think that if we spent a bit more time with those characters, it would mean more and it would be better to kind of understand their inner complexities. So I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm definitely into it and I want to know what happens. But I am struggling to like a lot of the characters just because I feel like we're not getting much depth on them apart from Ada, and I love Ada, so I want some more time with the characters to feel like I actually know them rather than just kind of feeling really, really distant from them, which is how I feel at the moment. I feel very distant from the characters, but I am enjoying it. Okay, we have come to the end of the video and the end of the day, and I've had such a fun time filming this little video. I hope that you enjoyed it being a little bit more casual, and I hope that you enjoyed getting to know me. So to wrap up, I actually can't remember if I read any of this today. I don't think that I did, but I definitely want to read a big chunk of it soon. I read, I think, about 40 pages of All of You, Every Single One, and I read about 50 pages of Lobster. I'm definitely enjoying Lobster more than I was at the beginning. I think it's a really good book. It's very chill, very chatty. I love it a lot. And this book is getting very heavy and very deep very quickly, but I am really, really into it despite not really feeling very connected to the characters. I also did some scrapbooking today. I scrapbooked like literally 2 pages because I ran out of tape. But I watched Gilmore Girls while I did it, which was really nice. I also decided to go through my laptop and print out and kind of file and sort all the things that I did in second year. So I did that. I still haven't finished it. That kind of drained the life out of me. There was so much content from year 2 that I had to go through, but I did get really excited for year 3, and I can't wait to do like a book haul, stationery haul, and just in general uni haul on this channel because that's going to be so fun. I did also journal today, which was so nice because it's been honestly such a busy period of my life, and it's been so nice to actually take in and appreciate everything that's happened over the last couple of weeks. I did do some story planning, which is nice because I feel like I've created this little world in my head, and it's nice to go back into it and develop it and create different branches, and I'm really having fun with this, so I hope this goes somewhere. But that is everything for today. I feel like I've had quite a productive day, and I really do thrive off of productivity, so I've had a lovely time. I hope that you have had a lovely time, and I will see you in my next one.